Beloved, stop for a moment and listen carefully, because this message reached you for a reason, and the reason is not small. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to a truth the person who betrayed you never expected you to learn, and that truth is already shifting the atmosphere around your life. What they thought would end in silence is becoming a testimony. What they assumed would remain hidden is now moving into the light. Do not skip this, and do not let your heart grow numb before the promise is revealed, because something unexpected is already on its way toward you, and it is closer than you think. There are moments when heaven allows the enemy's own schemes to become the doorway to your next blessing, and this is one of those moments. You have been through enough confusion, enough disappointment, enough wondering whether God saw the tears you never spoke aloud. But heaven saw everything. And now, before this season ends, the balance is about to shift. Type Amen if you know God has not forgotten you. There is something else you need to know, and if you keep reading, it will begin to make sense in a way your spirit has been waiting for. The betrayal was real, yes, but it was never the final word. Behind the scenes, while you were trying to recover from the wound, God was arranging something that your eyes could not yet see. Unseen hands were setting pieces in place. Doors were being aligned. Conversations were being prepared. A blessing was being carried toward you through paths you did not know existed. And the one who tried to break your confidence could not stop what had already been approved in heaven. This is why the pressure has felt strange lately, almost like the darkness has been louder right before a dawn you cannot yet see. Do not ignore this part. The heaviness is often the sign that a release is near. Stay with this message, because the next revelation changes everything. Type 1 believe if you sense that your waiting season is turning. You may have thought that the betrayal meant delay, loss, or even the closing of a door that mattered deeply to you. But heaven does not waste pain, and God does not permit an ending without also planting the seed of a greater beginning. That is why this moment is so important. A hidden blessing has been forming in the very place where you believed disappointment had taken root. It may have looked like a dead end, but in the spiritual realm, it was becoming a covered pathway. What happened against you was not approved by God, but God is so faithful that He knows how to turn what was meant for harm into provision, restoration, and unexpected favor. Keep reading carefully, because there is more happening than you realize. The blessing approaching you is not random. It has a name, it has a timing, it has a purpose. And at the appointed hour, it will arrive with a clarity that leaves no room for doubt. Comment God is working if you are ready for heaven's timing. Archangel Michael says the person who betrayed you never expected you to learn this truth. They became part of the very process that led heaven to move on your behalf faster than you imagined. This does not mean the betrayal was good. It means God is greater. It means the attack exposed what needed to be exposed. It means the wound revealed the depth of your calling, because only a life with purpose attracts this level of resistance. And while you were asking why, heaven was already preparing how. There is a storehouse opening for you, and its contents were not assembled in a day. The blessing coming toward you has been gathered over time, piece by piece, by divine wisdom. Some of it is provision. Some of it is peace. Some of it is restoration in an area that has been quietly aching for far too long. And yes, some of it touches family and home in ways you did not expect. Before long, you may notice a conversation changing, a burden lifting, or a door unlocking that once felt sealed shut. Stay alert, because the answer is nearer than you think. Type ready if you believe the season is shifting. I need you to understand that heaven has been preparing this longer than your pain has been speaking. That is the part the betrayal could not account for. The one who wronged you saw the surface of your struggle, but they did not see the hidden work God was doing in your unseen place. They did not know about the prayers that were recorded. They did not know about the tears that became seeds. They did not know that the night you thought nothing was changing, heaven was still writing your name into a future that could not be stolen. This is why the timing matters so much now. Some blessings are not released when we demand them. They are released when their arrival can carry the most healing and the greatest impact. And this one is being sent in such a way that you will know it is God, not luck, not coincidence, not human force. God. There is a detail coming that will make you pause because it will remind you that the Father never forgot the promise. Type faith if you are still standing in expectation. Before we continue, I feel led to share something with you. Over the years, thousands of people have reached out asking for powerful prayers they could pray during difficult seasons of life. That's why I put together a collection of some of the most powerful faith-building prayers I know. These prayers have helped people find peace during anxiety, strength during hardship, and hope when they felt like giving up. The best part is that I decided to make it completely free. If you would like a copy, simply check the link in the description and I'll send it to you. Do not wait until another difficult season arrives. Take it now while it's available and keep it close for the days ahead. Now there is something else you need to know. Do not let the memory of previous disappointment convince you that this is another delay. That memory is loud, but it is not wiser than God. The heart remembers what hurt it, and because of that, hope can feel dangerous. Yet this is exactly where the enemy has been trying to keep you trapped, in the shadow of what failed before. But listen closely, because a new river is approaching dry ground, and what looked barren will not remain barren much longer. The flow coming into your life is not only emotional relief. It is practical. It is tangible. It is the kind of blessing that changes a room, changes a schedule, changes a burden. It may reach you through an unexpected conversation, a sudden opening, a corrected misunderstanding, or an opportunity that comes from a place you had almost stopped watching. And there is something else you need to know. Someone is discussing your name in a room you were never invited into, and that discussion is not against you alone. Heaven is guiding the outcome. Keep watching. Keep listening. Type chosen if you believe God still sets people apart for purpose. The betrayal may have looked like loss, but it also revealed what was authentic, what was false, and what could not follow you into your next season. That is a mercy, even if it arrived through pain, because now the pathway is being cleared, and the hidden blessing can travel without obstruction. Think of a locked door in a house at dawn, and then think of the first line of light touching the floor just before the sun rises. That is what this season feels like. The darkness has not won. It has only delayed the moment before the light appears. And when the light enters, everything hidden becomes easier to recognize. You may soon see who really supported you, who was quietly praying for you, and which connection was preserved by grace even when you thought it was gone. Before this season ends, an old concern may be answered in a way you never predicted. Do not look away now, because the next revelation is tied to peace in your home and provision in your hands. Comment blessed if you are expecting heaven's light to enter your house. Archangel Michael says there has been protection around you that you did not fully perceive. Not every closed door was rejection. Some doors stayed shut because what was behind them would have drained your strength before your time. Some delays were shields. Some interruptions were rescue. That is why heaven is not asking you to simply endure. Heaven is asking you to discern. The one who betrayed you may have thought they were redirecting your path into confusion, but they did not understand that God can use even a crooked road to guide his chosen ones toward the exact place they need to be. There is an appointment in motion right now, and the details are being arranged with unusual precision. A person you have not spoken to in a while may reappear with a tone that surprises you. A long-forgotten opportunity may surface with fresh favor attached to it. Or a practical need may be met in a way that brings both relief and tears. What happens next is important, so stay until the end. Type 1 receive if you are open to God's unexpected provision. I want you to hold this truth in your heart. The blessing coming to you is not being sent because you were perfect. It is being sent because God is faithful, and because your season of being overlooked has reached its limit. There is a difference between being ignored by people and being invisible to heaven. You were never invisible to heaven. Every lonely night, every discouraged prayer, every moment when you asked whether your faith still mattered, it all mattered. And now the river is gathering strength. It is moving toward dry places. It is looking for the ground that has waited longest for rain. There may be evidence soon that what you thought was fading is actually reviving. A relationship may soften. A family matter may begin to resolve. A financial concern may open up through a door you did not have the courage to expect. But do not rush ahead of the revelation. Stay in the moment. There is another truth being revealed, and it carries the key to your peace. Type 333 if you believe heaven is aligning what has been scattered. The betrayal did something else too. It separated your future from false expectations. That may be painful to hear, but it is also freeing. Sometimes what we call loss is actually the removal of an arrangement that could never carry our destiny. Heaven knows exactly how much weight your next season requires. That is why some people could not come with you. That is why some promises had to mature before they were handed to you. And that is why the blessing approaching now feels different from what you once imagined. It is not smaller. It is wiser. It is not weaker. It is more stable. It touches the places you need healed, but it also touches the practical concerns that have worn you down. There is provision, yes, but there is also teach attached to it. There is restoration, yes, but there is also dignity. There is favor, yes, but there is also clarity. Keep reading, because the hidden obstacle is losing its grip, and you need to know why. Comment still standing if you have survived what should have broken you. There is a moment coming soon when you will realize that the very thing you feared had blocked your breakthrough was never stronger than the promise over your life. That realization matters because fear has been draining your expectation. Yet fear cannot survive the presence of a word from heaven that has begun to activate. You may not see the full picture yet, but a door is already beginning to move. It may open gradually. It may appear suddenly. It may come through a person, a document, a decision, or an invitation. Do not insist that it arrive in the form you expected. Some of God's best blessings come wrapped in a way that only makes sense afterward. And once it is open, you will understand why the delay had to pass through fire before it could become testimony. There is a golden key moment ahead, and the key is not only external, it is also internal. Something in your spirit will finally know this is the season of release. Type yes, Lord, if you are ready for that release. Many people watching this message have been carrying burdens they never talk about. If that sounds like you, I want to give you something special. I created a free prayer guide filled with powerful prayers for protection, breakthrough, peace, healing, and strength. Thousands of believers have already downloaded it and shared how much it encouraged them during difficult moments. There is absolutely no cost. I simply wanted to place this resource into the hands of people who need it most. If you feel led, go to the description and claim your free copy before continuing. One prayer prayed at the right moment can change more than you realize. Now, listen carefully, because the next part of this message is important. You have wondered whether the one who betrayed you would ever face what they did. The answer is more complex than revenge and more powerful than anything human justice could create. Heaven does not need to shout when it can reveal. Sometimes the greatest vindication is not watching your enemy fall. It is watching God raise you into the very place they assumed you would never reach. That is the truth they never expected you to learn. They thought the wound would make you smaller. They thought your joy would shrink. They thought your confidence would collapse. But instead, grace has been gathering in the hidden places, and your spirit has been learning how to breathe in places where it once only survived. Something in you has become stronger, more discerning, more rooted. That strength will matter when the blessing arrives, because you will be able to receive it without fear that it will vanish like the last thing you hoped for. The next few moments of your journey are important. Do not let doubt speak louder than prophecy. Type protected if you trust God's covering over your future. I am being showed a home at dawn and light moving across rooms that once carried heaviness. I am being shown a table where concern once sat, but peace is beginning to take its place. I am being shown a family line where a burden has lingered too long, and now healing starts moving like water through dry soil. This is not vague encouragement. This is the kind of blessing that restores what was strained and steadies what was shaking. And it may arrive through a series of small mercies before it arrives as one undeniable answer. A phone call that changes your outlook. A message that makes you sit down and breathe. A practical provision that meets a need just in time. A softened heart where hardness once lived. Do not underestimate the way God often works. Quietly first, then unmistakably. And because this is happening, the person who betrayed you cannot predict your next move, your next peace, or your next level of favor. Keep going. There is still more to uncover. Comment "I trust God" if you are learning to expect the quiet miracles too. The storehouse image matters here because heaven is not empty, and your delay was never proof of lack. It was proof of timing. There were blessings waiting in reserve while you were being prepared to carry them well. Some of them were protected from premature release. Some were held until your spirit could recognize them without desperation. And some were delayed because the work done in you was part of the blessing itself. That is why now feels different. You are not the same person who first prayed for this. You are wiser, more alert, more capable of discerning what is real. That is not to say the waiting was easy. It was not. There were nights when hope felt thin. There were moments when you questioned whether something was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong with you. Heaven was working beneath the surface. And now, as the blessing approaches, there will be evidence that your prayers were heard in layers, not in fragments. Something that seemed delayed will come back around with signs of completion. Type 1 believe if you feel the shape of that completion forming. There is a hidden conversation taking place now, and it matters more than you know. Someone who once overlooked you is beginning to remember what they dismissed. Someone who assumed you would remain in the background is starting to see your value with fresh eyes. And a door that was closed because of misunderstanding may soon move, because truth is arriving before it. Do not be surprised if the change comes through humility, apology, or a correction of the record. Heaven knows how to restore what was misrepresented. It also knows how to bless you in such a way that the story cannot be stolen again. This is part of why the pressure had to intensify before the breakthrough. The final stretch often feels the hardest because it is closest to the release. Keep your heart steady. The river is still moving. The key is still turning. The dawn is still coming. And the person who betrayed you never expected God to respond like this. Type Amen if you believe justice and mercy can meet in one divine moment. Before this season ends, you may witness an answer that carries both closure and surprise. It might not look dramatic at first, but it will be precise. You will know it was God because it will fit too perfectly to be human planning alone. A concern that has followed you for months may suddenly loosen. A financial squeeze may ease. A home-related matter may shift in your favor. A relationship may be restored or at least made honest enough for peace to begin. And if something cannot be restored in the old form, do not panic, because sometimes God restores by giving a better version, a safer version, a stronger version. There is no failure in divine redesign. The blessing coming to you has been shaped for this exact chapter, and it will not arrive late. It is on time in heaven, which means it will be on time in your life. Stay focused, stay open, stay expectant. Comment "My time is coming" if you are ready to receive the appointed hour. Now I want to bring you to the heart of it. The truth the betrayer never expected you to learn is that they could not cancel what heaven had already decided to release. Their move did not erase your blessing. It accelerated the unveiling of it. Their attempt to wound you became part of the evidence that your life is carrying more destiny than they understood. And because God is faithful, the blessing is not only coming despite the betrayal. In some mysterious way, it is being delivered through the very path the betrayal exposed. That is why you should not fixate on the wrong that was done. Fix your eyes on the God who can turn the path of pain into a road of provision. The storehouse is opening. The river is nearing the dry ground. The golden key is approaching the locked door. And the first light of dawn is already touching the home you thought had been left in shadow. Remain until the end, because this is not the hour to shrink back. This is the hour to expect. Type 777 if you know heaven is completing what it started. Beloved, your waiting is not wasted, and your tears were not unseen. What is coming next may feel gentle at first, but it will be unmistakable in its impact. A blessing is already on its way, and it has been moving longer than your discouragement has been speaking. That is why hope is returning now. Not because the battle was small, but because God is greater. Not because the wound never mattered, but because healing matters more. Not because the betrayal was acceptable, but because heaven has a final word. And that word is favor. That word is restoration. That word is provision. That word is peace in your home, strength in your spirit, and an opening before the appointed time. Do not leave this message early. Do not dismiss what your heart already knows. Something significant is approaching, and you were chosen to hear about it before it fully arrives. Receive this as a sign that the dawn is near. Type 1 receive, and let your spirit agree with heaven today. Before you leave, remember that my free prayer collection is waiting for you in the description below. Thousands of people have already downloaded it and used these prayers during seasons of anxiety, uncertainty, spiritual battles, and breakthrough. I made it completely free because I want every believer to have access to powerful prayers when they need them most. If this message encouraged you today, make sure you claim your free copy before you go. And if this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave your prayer request in the comments so this community can stand with you in faith. May God bless you, strengthen you, and guide every step ahead.